Hello you wonderful people and welcome back to the Crested Gaming Lounge. Today we will start a new video series and it will sort of be like a, offshoot of the MMO review series. I will review the worst rated MMOs on Steam. And we start off actually with a game called Rebirth Online. Let's just check the rating on Steam real quick. Okay. This looks fun. This looks really bad. This ain't gonna be good. Let's see here. It's 32% of 200 reviews for this game are positive. Oof. This is gonna be fun. Right, we're going to start about talking about the game premise as always, right? Rebirth Online seems to be your typical cookie-cutter fantasy RPG. There was nothing really that stuck out to me or stands out from the rest of them. Other than the fact that the game is originally a mobile MMO, which is very notable already from start, as everything is very simplified. This does not have to be a bad thing, however, so we're going to see if it's actually bad, if the reviews are right or not. Races. We start with races and classes as always in these reviews. The races in this game seems to all be tied to the 4 different classes you can play as. The races are human, and the human is tied to the Slayer class, which is a dual-wielding warrior type class. The Navi is an elf-looking race. They are tied to the spellcaster class, that is, your typical mage class. The Serek is a bigger human, or maybe even a half-giant, it's kind of hard to see. They're bigger than the standard human, and they're tied to the Slayer class, that wields a massive claymore sword, your typical heavily armored, raging giant type class. And the Selena or Kalina, I have no idea how to pronounce that, but it is essentially your typical human furry, with cat ears and all that. It is tied to, you guessed it, the archer class, which is your hunter, shooting bows and arrows. Not bows, just arrows. Shooting arrows at everything, okay? Typical hunter class. Moving swiftly on, though, to the character creation. There is really nothing much to say about the character creation in the game. There really is no character creation. It's just you have 3 preset customization options for your head, so it slightly changes your hairstyle, and that is sort of it. They have changed some facial features, but that is basically it. You have those 3 presets. That's what you get. Start leveling areas. There is not much of a start area, I would say, in Rebirth Online. It's basically your small village area in the forest. You have your standard quest giver NPCs and some other various villagers. Very basic stuff. Quests. The quests in Rebirth is very straightforward and has a very outdated concept, I would say. What I mean about this is that when you speak to a quest giver, you get a very old school dialogue window without any voice acting, even for the story quests. Other than the quests are very much like any other MMO out there, new or old really. You pick up a quest from an NPC and they will tell you to go kill certain amounts of some monster or pick up an artifact for them. You know what, actually, I take that back. The quests in Rebirth Online is actually worse than most MMOs. So far, I have almost exclusively only had to kill 15 or 20 of some kind of monster or beast. That is it. Even though most level experiences in MMOs get a bit repetitive in some form, I know that, but these quests they were just ridiculous, okay? It was just on a whole new level. Gameplay and combat, we usually smash those together, right? The combat in this game, in my opinion, is very boring. You left-click the target you wish to attack, and your character will just auto-attack that enemy until they are dead. You also have a few very strong abilities to use on your so-called action bar. It is still very, mobile-like. You get these small circular areas that you can click just as you have on your mobile screen. Gameplay in general is very basic and flat, as it is a mobile game, as we mentioned to begin with, and then just very poorly ported, I would say, over to PC. It just makes for a very boring gameplay on PC. There is almost no need to run around using the WASD buttons at all, really. You can just click on your current objective in your log and you will simply run over there automatically. On the topic of the poor porting job, many of the prompts in the game still says touch here or something similar as it would still be on a mobile. So it just says, oh, touch this area of the screen to do this. So they haven't even fixed that when they ported it over. They seem to have just copy-pasted the whole thing over to PC. I have encountered one dungeon so far in the 1 hour gameplay I've done. Very unimpressive. I thought that, it looked cool. It looked like something fresh from me just running around killing 20 bears or 15 gnolls or something. So I thought, hey, maybe this will be something extra cool. But much like the quests, actually, it was a very linear dungeon with 3 or 4 big rooms. In each room, you had to kill the monsters within that room for the door to open to the next one. And there was a big boss at the end of the whole thing, and that was it. It took me 4 or 5 minutes, maybe. Graphics. The graphics are what you would expect from a mobile game, really, that has just been brought over to PC. Not very good. I think that has sort of to do with, scaling up of the whole thing, so the resolution is kind of meh. I always say, though, you know this, I always say that the graphics are not very important in a game experience, really. But in this case, when the game has very little else going for it, it would be nice, with some breathtaking surroundings to look at least. Bugs and glitches. I did not really encounter any bugs or glitches in the first, hour of gameplay I did. So that is a positive, though. There was nothing really to hinder my gameplay, or the game didn't crash or anything, so at least that worked out. Audio. I must give it to Rebirth Online. The music is very good in the game. I found myself, humming along with, the background music at, numerous points when I played through the first hour or two. Difficulty and also pace of leveling, we usually slam those together as well, right? From the first hour of play, I can't really say that the game was very difficult, and I could easily take on massive amounts of enemies, as the footage will show at this point. I could take on probably 15 to 20 enemies without the fear of dying, and the pace of leveling, it was very fast, I would say, because in the first hour I played, I was already level 81, out of I think the max level at the moment is around 700 or 800 or something, so you gain loads of experience for just finishing a quest. Right. We have reached the end of this one. To conclude this train wreck, I would call it, I will say, though, that it's not really a train wreck in that sense. It's not very good, obviously, from what you see from the footage and what you can read of the reviews on Steam, but it's just a generally decent little MMO. If you just want something simple and fantasy-inspired to play around with, this is for sure a good choice. And it is free, too, so you're not gonna bust your bank for it. And as I said, it is simple, but it's not broken. That is a good thing. It is simplified and very simple, but there's no bugs and glitches or breaks and stuff like that. It runs smoothly, but it is obvious that it is a mobile port still. That said, though, it would be an acceptable game on mobile where it was released to begin with. But when you go to play an MMO on PC or an RPG of any kind on PC, you want some more depth, rich storylines, grand dungeons, and stunning surroundings. And Rebirth does not really deliver any of that in my opinion. So I would have to say this is probably a hard pass for most MMO fans. So, you wonderful people, that does it actually for this review of this, well, I will still probably go with Trainwreck. This Trainwreck of an MMO called Rebirth Online. But guys, please tell me also in the comments below if you have tried out this game and what your opinion is of it. Do you like it? Do you dislike it? Are you impartial? Just let me know, okay? I want to know your opinions. And if you like the video, guys, please just boot that like button. And if you like me, consider pressing that sub button and becoming a part of the Crested Gaming Lounge. And if you'd like to see more of me and my shenanigans, I also stream over at Twitch TV. The link of that will be in the description below. Until the next time, people, I hope you have a great morning, day or night, wherever you might be. And I will see you in the next video. Bye!